Welcome to episode 4 of Some Kind of Fun. We've got clips from Faith Boblet, The Suburbs. We've got interviews with the Shackletons and Tricky Miki. And we have a great interview where Paul interviews Greg Norton from Hüsker Dü, and Claire and I stand in the corner and just act jealous. So, gang, what shows have you liked recently?
I saw a really great few sets from Rich Mattson and the North Stars, New Rocket Union, and the Silver Teens.
Silent Treatment was on that bill, and they were very good. This was a big week for me. I mean, Shackletons, Suburbs, the aforementioned bands from last night. It was incredible. I'm going to sleep for a week.
Well, not local, but I went and saw Bikini Kill and Local Angle. The between-song stage patter from both Toby and Kathleen Hanna were exceedingly complimentary of Lori Barbero, and so it felt kind of like a local show.
Here's our first set of clips with Faith Boblet from the Rochester Big Melt Festival, Haley at the Hook and Ladder, Killed by Kiwis at the Turf Club, and Ting and the Tabs at Mortimer's Bar.
Welcome back. We have an interview today with Tricky Miki. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here.
So am I.
You do, I think the first time that I met you was when we did a hi-fi hair show.
In the alley.
In the alley, yeah. It was like 2021, I think. And that was awesome. That was like so much fun. How'd you get into DJing?
That's a good question. I got into it because basically people weren't playing what I really wanted to hear. Like especially when it comes to house music, what I want to do is be able to stick my ass in the speaker, right? Like I want to hear bass, I want to hear beat, and I want to dance joyously all evening. And many DJs come close, many, especially the local people come close, but it still wasn't enough for me. I needed more. So I started getting into it so that I could just play stuff that I wanted to hear and hopefully other people would enjoy it. And it has now escalated to the point where I am DJing for the Walker Avant Garden this year, which is
cool.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that. I don't know who's going to be the DJ, the national act, and I know no one's coming to see me, but I'm still excited to be there.
So I got two questions then. One, what did you want to hear? And two, can you tell us more about like what the event is all about?
Well, more of what I want to hear is I want to hear really good funky bass lines. I want to hear really good strong beats. And I want it to just be I want it to be danceable. And I know what that means when I hear it. Mm-hmm. And some things come close, but for me it's really it's about just bringing home a really decent party and having other people be infected by the music that I'm playing.
Awesome.
And I say infected, not affected. Like I want them to be possessed by it.
In
not
and out.
Possessed, but like I want them to really feel it as much as I am.
Yeah, totally. So you are DJing at, you said it was the say it again for me.
The Walker.
The Walker. The name of the event though. I know.
Avant Garden.
Okay.
So
Avant-Garden. Okay.
it's their yearly fashion extravaganza fundraising thing.
All right. What are the so you're DJing and then you said there's a national act?
They usually do a national act afterwards. So in 2019 it was Questlove.
Okay.
And in last year it was Talib Kweli. So my hope is that it's, like, I don't know, Fatboy Slim or Grandmaster Flash, somebody who could be really transformative in that space.
Yeah.
Somebody where, I don't know, it would be an hour and a half of me shitting my pants because it'd be like, oh my God, it's Grandmaster Flash, oh my God. That kind of thing, because childhood idol.
Yeah. When are they announcing?
I don't know, but the tickets go on sale in June. So
okay.
I DJ for one of the organizers for a fundraiser that he does for homeless and abused women. So I do that yearly, and then that's how this is steamrolled into the Walker thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is the most challenging thing about like DJing?
Fucking up. Like anything else. Like getting out there and oh God, the beats don't match, or the song sucks, or people leave the floor, or whatever the case may be. So
okay.
It's I would say it's much like anything else when all of a sudden you've just made these major mistakes. You're like, okay, well, I made a mistake. What can you do?
Yeah.
And you go on.
You move on, right?
Yep. Like, you can't ruminate. You just have to keep moving on.
No, that can be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah. What you had, so you have a video and something that you're putting out this fall as well?
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I've just finished a music video for an original that I did. And it's a song called Mayday, and it's all about kind of being a kid. Well, not being a kid, but reflecting on childhood and reflecting on life. And for me, it was me sitting in a park. I was sitting in Lindale Farmstead, and I was hanging out with my dog and watching the clouds go by. And I was just thinking about all the kind of stuff that happens when you're watching fluffy clouds, right? And the song just came to me, and I went home and wrote it. And then a friend of mine he works for Best Buy, so we shot it at the Best Buy green screen studios. And it turned out really beautifully, but I want to package it with a couple of other songs that I'm doing to send off to labels. So we'll see.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have those songs ready to go, or are you like in the process of writing those too?
They are written, but they need to be produced properly. Like, it's one thing for me to come up with the ideas and lay down the tracks and all that. It's another thing for it to be produced in a way that actually sounds professional, which I don't have that. I don't have those qualifications.
That's like a whole other
The whole thing. Yep. And so the next thing I'm hoping to do is get into actual remixing. That's where I think I would actually kind of excel, is to remix a lot of the songs that I love. Because there's so many great songs out there that I want to play, but I want them to sound more updated.
Okay.
So give them a little zhuzh.
A little boost, a little oomph. Okay. What has been like the funnest DJ gig you've done, like in the last 10 years?
Oh. I was flown out to San Diego for a birthday party, and that was pretty crazy. That was just crazy. It was a dude that I used to work with a long time ago, and so it was his 50th birthday, and each floor of his house had a different style of food, and like the top floor was sushi, the middle floor was the bar, and past apps and all that. Then the main floor was barbecue, and then outside was Mexican. And then we were set up on the second level. We had speakers on the third and on the first level, and it's just sound just echoing throughout the entire neighborhood, and it was great. It was it was just intense, and people dancing well as late they could. We had to stop at 10 o'clock though, because it was a Monday night.
Right. So the infection went away at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds really elaborate.
It was elaborate for 10 o'clock.
Wow.
On a Monday. It's like, but it's my birthday.
Yeah.
But usually
Monday.
people save it for a weekend.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. It was his birthday. He had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What is one thing, I think sometimes people don't, DJing is like this sort of gray area. People are like, well, I know there's music. How does it work? What's one thing that you would want people to know about DJing that they might not know?
That it's actual work.
Yeah.
That it's actually kind of hard work, right? So you go to see a band, you kind of know what the band's going to be, right? But DJs, we walk into a situation a lot of times, especially parties, and we have to really work sometimes, especially in Minnesota, especially with a Midwestern audience who, until they have a few drinks in them, don't really loosen up.
Yeah.
And we have to really work to bring a party, right? And to have people have fun and to have people enjoy themselves. Again, going back to the band analogy, at least with bands, rock and roll, people stand and they look at the DJ, or they look at the band and they sip beers and they clap at the end. It's the whole thing. With DJs, there's none of that. They stare at us, but if they don't like what they hear, then they are off the floor, which is even more stressful for us, because then we have to work harder to bring those people back to the floor.
Yeah.
Whereas, with a band, people are just there to watch.
Right. They kind of know what they're getting already.
Yeah.
What do you do to bring them back?
I try to play songs I try to play stuff that people know and that they like, and that is generally liked. Things like Belle Biv DeVoe and Poison, or some old Janet or Michael Jackson, or things like that touches virtually everybody of almost every kind of age group, because it's something that even if you didn't grow up with it, you've heard it. You know it. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
So I get into that comfort zone with people, but I like to push the comfort zone a little bit, especially when it comes to really good house music. Sadly, house music hasn't been at the forefront of the Minneapolis music scene, which is unfortunate, because there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different kind of world.
Well, thanks for pushing it.
Yeah.
Bringing something
Yeah,
new
it's
that
fun.
we don't
Well, it's
have.
just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun, and it's also one of those things where it's ageless.
Yeah.
So you'll see people who are 20, you'll see people who are 65 out dancing, and that's pretty great.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining us, and
Yeah,
thanks
of
for doing
course.
what you do. Oh my gosh,
It's so fun. It's fun.
Well, we're lucky to have it. I mean, we're
Yeah.
lucky to have you.
Oh, thanks, Claire.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
This is super
this
fun.
is great.
All right. We'll be right back after these sets of clips from Just Love Inc. Who are they? Lifestyle Shakes and the Suburbs.
Apologies mean nothing when the damage is done, but you can't switch off my loving.
Welcome back to Some Kind of Fun. It's time for our monthly debate topic. This debate topic will be, what is the best way to compensate the bands? Tip jar or a cover charge? Claire, you're in a band. What do you think?
Cover. I think bands should get a guarantee. They are providing a service. It takes a lot of effort to rehearse and purchase gear and learn songs and perform. And, I think if we can agree that, we as a society should have like a $15 an hour minimum wage, then we should be paying bands accordingly. And I think, it's great to have a tip jar in addition to a cover, which some venues do. But pay the talent.
I definitely agree on pay the talent. And the one thing I'd like to add about the tip jar is people never define how the tip jar is going to be used. Is it one tip jar for all 3 or 4 bands? Are they going to split it up after each band? Because that determines how I use the tip jar. If I have $40 to throw in and I throw it all in on the first band, does that mean the second and the third band get nothing? Or do I have to go to the bartender and ask for tens and throw it in separately? We just need some sort of definition around what we're doing.
Pete?
Well, it's interesting that you raise a definition. So, Minnesota Administrative Rule 5200.0120 subpart A defines the divided gratuity rule. And it says that when a customer leaves a tip at a bar for somebody or a restaurant for a tipped worker, it's got to be shared among all the tipped workers that were working on that shift.
Interesting.
So if you wanted the definition, I happen to have it professionally.
I think you need to go to all venues and explain that before the show starts.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we start tipping.
Yeah.
I do want to define that down, not define it, I guess clarify it down just a little bit. We're good on the definitions probably for today. But I think, I think it also has to do with not just, it has to do with also the venue, right? Like, Are you playing in a record store? Are you playing in a bar? If you're playing in a bar, bands should get paid. I think it's a little bit different when you get like the smaller independent venues and you there are like expectations and there's some upfront knowledge of kind of like the parameters of who's doing what and who's getting what. But
do in-stores do tipping?
Some record stores do, like they will pass a tip jar.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think like it's a different set of rules for that. But I definitely think that if you're playing like a live music venue that has a bar, pay the talent.
Yeah, because you were saying off camera that when a band comes to a show, that's 4 hours of their day, right?
Yeah.
Load in, load out, hanging around, waiting to play.
Yep.
And they're expected to be there.
Yep.
And that's hours worked, so they should get compensated.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you heard it here first.
One of the questions I've always had is, do bands get compensated better with the tip jar, because then the club isn't taking a cut? If it's a cover, doesn't the club owner, doesn't the venue take some of that?
Typically, if there's like a door deal.
Okay.
I guess it's up to every venue. I don't know if there's like a universal like flow chart of like, if we do this, then you get this, and then if we do this, then you get this.
Right. I mean, the Steve McClellan formula used to be, it was tickets and then the band got 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then everything else belonged to the club.
That's for the cover charge, though, right?
Right. Or the
Yeah.
ticket, yes.
Yeah. The tip jar, just that should not be going to the club.
Right.
No, that should go to the bands.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
For our third set of clips, we have a Shackletons interview with our very own Paul, who is. Are you retired now, Paul?
I'm semi-retired.
Semi-retired. Can you tell us what semi-retired is?
I'm working about 10 hours a week.
Okay.
10 hours of my choosing.
10 hours of your choosing.
And we'll see how that goes. And if they want it to be hours of their choosing, then I'll be fully retired.
So can you do like a 10-hour day and then just be like, I'm fucking off for the rest of the week? Like,
I suppose I could, but I'm not going to do that.
okay. Suppose there's some structure can be a good thing. Okay. So then we have a clip of the Shackletons and also Dan Israel and Whale in the Thames.
Welcome to Some Kind of Fun, the Colorado edition. I am here with my dear friends, the Shackletons, the ones who gave me the name Front Row Paul. So, fellas, you've been on tour for how long now?
Since the end of March. Since
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
30th.
check this. Yeah.
Time is
30th.
All
it's
right.
relative now. It's,
So almost 3 weeks total.
Right.
Most memorable venue so far.
Fillmore.
I'd say Fillmore, yeah.
I won't that, but I can't also just so quickly
trying to think. Yeah, there's been
say
a lot.
that, you know.
Uh-huh.
At was it the Troubadour? They put a disco ball on right at the right moment during a guitar solo, and that was my favorite moment.
The Crescent
So-
Ballroom was like the best sounding room. I feel like.
Yeah, that sounded awesome.
We've been having this discussion in the van. We're like, okay, like obviously like Fillmore and Troubadour are like big things, you know, but it was also like the Neptune Theater in Seattle. that was stained glass, like Atlantis themed.
Well, and the venue we were at last night, Fort Collins. Was
Yes,
an
beautiful.
incredible.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was probably it was the best green room.
Best green room.
By far.
All right. and it was nice for those of us standing just outside the front row.
Yeah.
So when you get back, which is coming up, I think in about a week, right? You're back in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And then May, help me out with the exact date, at the Hook and Ladder.
I believe
You're
it's
playing
the 18th.
18th.
Yeah.
You are playing with Little Man, which is
Yes.
just going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Barn burner, they say.
yes, as it will. Will be a lot of epic rock and roll that night. So plans after that yet?
Just finished the album.
Yep.
I think that's about
Okay.
our biggest plan is. Get that
And
album finished.
where are you in that process?
Halfway.
A little more than halfway, yeah. With the both songs recorded, it gets piecemealed, you know. So
All right, so it's half recorded, and are all those mixed and mastered already, or
they're mixed, but I think we're waiting to master them till we got the batch.
okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, here we were in Colorado with my favorite Twin Cities band, the Shackletons. Yeah! Rock and roll.
Never
welcome back to Some Kind of Fun. And now we're really going to have some kind of fun because I'm joined here by Greg Norton, who currently a member of Ultra Bomb
That is correct.
and about to go on tour with them. So tell us a little about that.
Well, this is our inaugural U.S. tour, and our upcoming show, May 11th, at the Turf Club, will be our second show ever after last year's show at the Hook and Ladder. So
Which was off the hook, by the way. It was a fabulous show.
it was so much fun. A really great getting up and playing, and especially playing with Finney and Jamie. So yeah, this. We've named our tour "It's Got Legs" because we finally have this thing up and running. We had a few cancellations, some dates in Canada due to visa issues, dates overseas in England and Ireland due to COVID issues, and then of course we were about to do a tour again that got canceled last year because I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, which right after the Hook and Ladder show, I had surgery and they took it out and my margins are clean and I'm healthy and I'm back and I'm ready to jump up on stage with Ultra Bomb.
Nice, nice. And today is Record Store Day.
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
So it was kind of a big deal. There's this little band, Hüsker Dü. I think they have a record out today.
It's our newest, oldest recording, literally. So we happen to have one right here. I can show it off.
We do.
Hüsker Dü, Tonight Longhorn, and this came together. We were working on a project originally, thinking kind of, the first Hüsker tour, the Children's Crusade, going up. Playing all the way through, and that ended with the Recording Land Speed Record.
Okay.
And we were having trouble kind of finding stuff that isn't already out there to do that. But then when we were listening through, it's like listening to these very early Longhorn recordings before we ever played outside of Minneapolis or St. Paul. And the quality was so good, and the sound level. Terry Katzman recorded this just off the Sound Desk cassette player, and I got there's something about that main room at the Longhorn. It just sounded so good in there, and probably also the fact that there were only maybe a couple dozen people there for each of these shows. But we're like, let's put this together, and this flyer, which has been circulated around. It's in the Savage Young Do, and it's also in the Complicated Fun book that Sin wrote.
Sid Collins, yeah.
It was like, that's the perfect title for the record. That is the cover, and it came together really well. Released officially for Record Store Day. To be put into broader circulation at a later date.
Okay.
So, and it sold really well today. A few hours at the Fetus. It was packed. Just spent the afternoon out in Golden Valley, down in the valley. They had their biggest sales day in their 51-year history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
They had 800 people in line.
All right.
When they opened up. And I'm like, in this store? So it was fun.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. It was cool.
Yep.
Just hanging out in record stores all day.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
It is. Yep.
So projects going on. Anything new that we should know about? I know you have a whole world of stuff outside music that you do as well.
Yeah, there's other things, but getting Hüsker Dü Tonight Longhorn out, that's really been a big focus over the last few months. A lot of help from Dennis Pulowski to get this out. Finally getting on the road with Ultra Bomb, so we have We play 18 shows between the 11th and the 31st
Right.
this month. We'll be at Punk Rock Bowling, which that'll be my first time to Punk Rock Bowling. Super looking forward to that. And in the month of May, while we're all together, we'll be working on new material.
Okay,
and
good.
With planning to get into the studio probably early fall.
Okay.
And getting another record cut. The vinyl is finally on its way. The pre-orders will be shipping out
Okay.
hopefully before our tour starts. And then stateside here, DC Jam is going to handle the record.
Okay.
And that's most likely who will put out the second record. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you're
I don't
starting-
think Sony's going to call us up, but
you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd
So
rather
we're
have
starting-
Nunsuch call us up, but that's
starting at the Turf Club,
yep.
and then Midwest Music Fest in Winona.
At the No Name Bar in Winona on the 12th, Friday.
And if anyone has not been in Ed's No Name Bar, it really rocks hard. So that should...
It does, yeah. That's a great little room.
It is.
And it's funny that you called it Ed's. Yeah, I mean Ed sold the place a few years ago, and since then I've been trying to make a more conscious effort just to call it the No Name. But it was always the No Name Bar, but everybody just knew it as Ed's. So great spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you want the rundown on the dates?
Sure. Absolutely.
So all of these shows, we have the Barstool Preachers from Bristol, England, with us. Their new record is great. It debuted at 13 in the UK charts.
Okay. Wow.
We're trying to give them a nudge through social media to hopefully push them into the top 10. And then we'll have like a bona fide top 10
Right.
English rock band opening for us. They're great. They've got some ska elements as well. And so on Saturday the 13th, we're in Chicago at Reggie's.
Okay.
Great room, played there, opening for Flipper with Porcupine.
Yeah.
And we're going to shoot a couple of videos while we're in Chicago. My friend Jim Sikora, who is the guy that made the movie for Joe Carducci, Rock and Roll Punk,
Oh, sure.
which starred myself and a lot of other rock luminaries. So anyway, from there we go to Indianapolis, St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Tucson, Tempe, San Diego, Long Beach, Punk Rock Bowling for 2 shows, and then we'll have a day off and we play Denver on the way home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Place called
Punk
Headquarters.
Rock Bowling is in
HQ.
Las Vegas, correct?
That is correct. Las
Okay.
Vegas, Nevada. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that is
Yeah.
excellent.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. Going to see you a couple of times this month.
That's great. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Greg.
Yeah. Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Hulk Hogan's dick.
Sometimes I'm lonely, sometimes I'm blue. Sometimes I wish I was back in school. Suburban playground, does it remind me of you? My heart's still pounding for that yeah. My baby loves me, knows me trying to be good. And if I messed up, God is good. Hey, hey, 'cause I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, my baby's book, come on. Alright, my baby loves me. Alright, my baby's book, yeah, yeah. Good night. Oh, she loves me. She loves me, yeah, alright. Hey, we're coming at you. We're coming at you. Ow! It's early in the winter cold day, and I came inside after it's dark. And the news was on television, and I couldn't make no one was spoke. I was fucking someone I was feeling. I settled back into the chair. I had to figure out what I was feeling, if my idea wasn't really there. Trepidation. Fear and restlessness, trepidation, tension and distress. If I start to see flashing colors, and I start crushing things in my hands, I'm just dealing with the situation, and it's hard for you to understand. I don't like it.
Welcome back to Some Kind of Fun. Claire, Paul, what shows are you looking forward to in the next month or so?
In the next month or so, we've got Art of World coming up, which is always fun because there's a lot of bands playing in a lot of places throughout Northeast Minneapolis. And so those events will start popping up pretty soon, I'm sure, in social media.
All right.
May 18th at the Hook and Ladder, my boys, the Shackletons. Again, not really my boys, I just called them that. And then Little Man, so that's going to be a kickin' show.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward on May 25th at the Turf Club, All the Pretty Horses, Surly Girly, Silent Treatment, and who else is playing with you?
Butter Boys.
And Butter Boys.
Silent Treatment, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Be really
they're always
fun.
good. The drummer is great.
He is fantastic.
I hate that guy. Ugh.
I always do this cam. It's called
Yep.
Keeley Cam.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's great.
Sometimes my ass makes an appearance.
Thanks everybody for watching. And now playing us out, Monica LaPlante.